Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. All right, so this week I've got an analogy for you, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot. So follow on with me if it doesn't make so much sense, and hopefully everything will be clear by the end. Okay, so imagine you open your eyes and you find yourself in an amusement park. There's a lot of loud music going on. There's carnival games, there's roller coasters, there's laughing kids, and you see one passing by and he's like cutting candy bigger than his head. And you've got two friends there with you, and you're all just equally confused, and you think, how do we get here? You know, what's going on? So your wise friend is like, okay, let's look around, let's see, what's actually going on here. And so he looks around and he finds some signs, and the sign says, this amusement park will close at 5 p.m. So everybody found on the path to the exit will be allowed safe passage. However, if you're not found on the path at that time, then you will not be allowed to leave, ever. And so you read that and you think, that's a little bit strange. So you do notice it's actually quite late in the day as well. So you and your friends get together and you're like, okay, what are we gonna do? And so your wise friend says, I think we should actually look at the map just by the sign and try to make our way to the exit, because I'm not gonna risk anything, I wanna go home. And your other friend is like, nope, forget it. I want to go get that roller coaster. The queue doesn't seem that long and it seems really fun. I think it'll just take like 5 minutes and I'll be with you guys. You just go ahead. And so with some pushing and pulling, in the end you decide, okay, just, they go and you go your own way. And so you start walking and you find the path, and the path is basically a straight line that just cuts through the amusement park and it gets to the exit. And so you're walking, you can't really see the exit in view, and you get a bit tired after a while, but your wise friends come and says there's no stopping now, let's just keep going and then we can relax when we get home. And so you do, and you get up and you keep going, and you walk and you walk and you walk, and you realize it's actually quite near sunset. And so you finally actually get to the gate, right, in time, and you're greeted by two guards there, and you get the customary nod and you go through. Right, great. So now as you're waiting, at the gates, you're thinking, okay, there's just 5 minutes left, where is this guy? And you can see people starting to congregate on the path, even though it's really long and maybe someone's just joining at the end there. They're nowhere to be seen. And so another minute passes, and another, and before you know it, it is sunset and they're not there. And so you're like, this guy is must be stuck some ride somewhere. And so what happens is, comes along and starts arguing with the guards, because the gate's now closed, right? Everybody that was going to go through, gone through, and they start arguing. And they say, I'm just 5 minutes late, do something. I knew that I could go. I heard about the signs. I heard even the announcements. And the guards are like, well, exactly. You knew and you didn't come. And so their argument keeps going. And meanwhile, a foreigner gets through the gates, gets let through as an exception, and you speak on the other side with the foreigner, and you're like, well, how did that happen? And he said, well, I explained my situation to the other guard, and he speaks in broken English and says, yep, I couldn't understand the announcements. I tried to ask people, they didn't answer me. I couldn't read the signs, they were in a foreign language. And so he said, okay, go through. And the argument is still going on with your friend. And ultimately, the guard says, well, have you done anything? Did you actually try and make an effort to get to the path in time? And at that point, the friend says in a very low voice, no. and then he abandons trying to make his argument. And so you have no choice but to turn around, and to your surprise, when you turn around, you find your home, and it's just the most magnificent thing you've ever seen. And even though it was something familiar all along, that word, you never have actually seen this place. And you walk through its wide open gates, and the more you walk, the more you see things that you've never even dreamt of before. And you just feel at home and at ease and at peace.